McLaren, Ferrari and Williams, the longest established teams in Formula 1, have committed to staying in the sport until the end of 2025 after confirming they've signed the new Concorde Agreement. I'm Thomas Marr, be sure to like and subscribe for the very latest Formula 1 news. The three teams mentioned have become the first to confirm they've signed the new Concorde Agreement, committing to racing in Formula 1 until the end of 2025. The current Concorde Agreement expires at the end of this season, with the last negotiations thrashed out under Bernie Ecclestone's CVC. Now under Liberty Media ownership, this new Concorde Agreement will determine the commercial arrangements the teams have. This applies to prize money and funding going forward. Most of the teams have verbally indicated that favourable terms have been agreed with Liberty and are now signing the agreement, which will bind them to the sport until the end of 2025. McLaren were the first team to sign the Concorde Agreement, with the team announcing their long-term commitment to the sport as they entered their 56th season in Formula 1. Formula 1 has taken another important stride on the road to a sustainable, strong future with the new agreement, said McLaren CEO Zak Brown. This is the right deal at the right time for the sport, its owners, its teams, and most of all, the fans. A more equitable sport is better for everyone. Greater balance in the sharing of revenues amongst all the teams, and clearer, simpler governance that cuts through vested interests and puts the sport first. This agreement will only make the F1 constructors collectively stronger in the long term. The new Concorde Agreement kicks in at the same time as a new budget cap across the field, aimed at reducing costs for everyone, which means some of the bigger teams will have to cut back or reassign personnel to different areas of their companies. Ferrari are one of these grandee teams, but have the ability to move employees out of the F1 team and into the road car division, or even into a rumoured IndyCar entry. They've also signed up, meaning their 70 years of racing in Formula 1 will continue. We're pleased to have signed up again to the Concorde Agreement, which will regulate Formula 1 for the next 5 years, said Ferrari's CEO Louis Camilleri. It's an important step to ensure the stability and growth of the sport. We're very confident that the collaboration with the FIA and Liberty Media can make Formula 1 even more attractive and spectacular, while preserving its status as the ultimate technological challenge. Racing is in Ferrari's DNA, and it's no coincidence that the Scuderia is the only team that has participated in every edition of the FIA Formula 1 World Championship, becoming an integral and essential part of its success today as in the past, and above all in the future. Williams, as a relatively small and independent team, stand to benefit from the new rules being introduced to the championship, and it's no surprise that they've signed up to stay on, especially considering this comes at a time where they've been selling assets in their companies and are actively seeking external investment at the moment after the loss of title sponsor Rocket. They say the new sporting, technical and financial regulations will be crucial in creating a more even platform for all teams, ensuring the long-term viability and sustainability of Formula 1. Claire Williams, deputy team principal, said the new Concorde Agreement represents a major step forward for both Formula 1 and Williams. As one of the sport's longest running teams, we're pleased to see the future direction of Formula 1 confirmed for the next era of racing. Our expectation, aligned with Liberty Media, is that this new era will be characterised by closer and more exciting racing as a result of the new platform of regulations, which include more equitable revenue distribution and in a first ever cost cap for our sport. The agreement is a major milestone in the development of Formula 1 and also represents a significant opportunity for Williams to continue on our journey back towards the front of the grid. Everyone has had to give ground for the bigger outcome, which will be a more competitive, exciting and thriving Formula 1 for future generations, which in turn secures a healthy sport for both participants and fans alike. Mercedes Toto Wolff said over the second Silverstone weekend that agreement between Merck and Liberty hadn't been reached in what appeared to be a negotiating tactic that led to a firmly worded response from F1 basically telling them to put up or shut up, and Merck seemed to have taken notice of that. Speaking over the Spanish Grand Prix weekend, Wolff said that his stance had changed. I don't think that the teams will ever be united. Everyone's trying to achieve some little deals outside. There's a blame culture in the media, so we've decided to move forward with Liberty. I've had some very constructive discussions with Chase Carey over the last weekend, and most of the clarifications that we wanted to achieve have been discussed, and I feel that we're now in a good point to sign the Concorde Agreement and move on. That's it from me for the moment. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and follow me on Twitter at Thomas Marr on F1.